Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Karen with Fairy Garden Bath, and in today's video we are making a hand and body lotion. So this is a pretty simple recipe. I will have the recipe in the description box below. So let's just get started. First thing we are going to need is distilled water. And I'm making a big batch, so I have 1386 grams of distilled water, and you want to make sure it's distilled water, not just regular tap water. Okay, there we go. And next up, I am putting in some glycerin. So this is the water phase of the batch. So it's basically just water and glycerin in this phase. And I put 160 grams of glycerin. And that is all I'm putting in, so I'm just going to put it to the side. Now next up is our oil phase. And to start off, I'm putting in BTMS 25, and I'm putting 80 grams of that. And this is the conditioner and emulsifier. So this product is used to make sure that the water and the oil mixed together. Okay, and next up I'm putting in Cetyl Alcohol, and I'm putting in 60 grams. Go. And for the oil, I'm using Sweet Almond Oil, and I'm putting in 200 grams. But you could substitute this oil for any other light oil would be fine, like even jojoba oil would probably be good. Apricot kernel oil would be fine. I just have Sweet Almond Oil on hand, so that is what I am using. And last ingredient for our oil phase is I'm putting in shea butter, 100 grams. And I'm using the refined shea butter because I don't want any kind of smell coming from the shea butter. There we go. And that is it for our oil phase. So now we just need to heat both phases on the stove. And I'm going to be using a water bath. I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. So all I've done basically is taken one saucepan here and one pot, and I filled it with about an inch of water. And then I just placed my water and oil phases on top. And I'm going to let that heat up until everything is nice and melted. Takes about, for the oil phase, I think it took somewhere around about 30 minutes for it to completely melt. So here everything is melted, and you want to heat your water phase along with it so that way they're kind of, at a similar temperature. And you're going to want to pour your water phase into the oil phase. And once you do that, take your immersion blender and give it a good mix. You want to mix it for probably a minute or two. You don't have to mix it crazy, but I think I go about 2 minutes here, just making sure that it's mixed really, really well. I'm going to bring you a little closer here so you can see what I'm doing. So I just want to give it a nice, good mix. Make sure everything is incorporated really well. And you can see as I'm mixing too that the phases are mixing together really well, so the emulsion is successful. If you notice after mixing that the oil and water phases don't mix together, then the emulsion has failed and you're going to want to have to try again. But this recipe is pretty easy though. I've never had a batch fail on me. And there we go. I think that's blended good enough. And now we're gonna need to let this cool for quite a bit before we put in our cool down phase. Just gonna check the temperature here, see where we are. And 138 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's a little hot yet. I like to wait till about 110 degrees Fahrenheit or lower to add my cool down phase. And I totally missed the part of the video where I actually poured the cool down phase into the mixture. Once it was cooled, it was down to about 106 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is in at this point. Everything has been mixed, and I've actually let the mixture sit for about 2 hours after I put in the cool down phase. So it took about an hour for it to cool down to the temperature that I wanted it at. I added the cool down phase and then I let it sit for another 2 hours. And you can see I got a nice, rich, creamy consistency now. That's what we're going for. And even as it sits overnight, it will thicken up a little more, not much, but a little bit more. But it's a nice consistency now. It spreads very easily and it's nice and creamy. So I am just packaging it up. I'm using 8-ounce bottles from Uline. But you could use any kind of bottle. You could use glass bottles. If you want bigger jars, you know, they do 16 ounces too. So it's whatever you have on hand or whatever the size you determine that you want to make your lotion in. I just want to use 8-ounce bottles, so that's what I had on hand. It's a nice size. I find it's not too big but not too small, so I find it's a good size for lotion. And it just takes a little bit of time to get through the funnel. Give it a little bit of help here. I believe that has done it. And we have one little bottle of lotion complete. All I gotta do is make a label and then this guy is ready to go. And I thought I would do a little bit of a demo here. I had a little bit left over on my spatula, so So you can see it spreads really nice. It's a good consistency. It doesn't feel grainy at all from the shea butter, which is good because sometimes that can happen with shea butter. And yeah, it feels like a very nice, kind of just regular, good old-fashioned body lotion. A little bit goes a long ways. I did both of my arms and hands with that little blob that I put on my arm. So you definitely don't need a lot of the lotion, that's for sure. And it blends in pretty quickly. I found it didn't feel super greasy or not quite as heavy as like a body butter. It did absorb quite quickly, which is nice. And yeah, that is how to make a body lotion. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.